What's going on, Harbor Hawk fans? I'm Tim Brown here with Michael Najarian, and man, it's getting late, Mike. This is game 36 of the regular season. The Hyannis Harbor Hawks going against the Falmouth Commodores here at Gov Fuller Field, and this is a big battle, Mike. This is two teams at the bottom, near the bottom of the West Division, trying to keep themselves above water. Right now, Falmouth is at the last spot, trying to get themselves above the Harbor Hawks and the Kettleers to end this season. It's a really big one for Hyannis, as this one would almost completely solidify their playoff chances.
Yeah, this one, a win here, 2 big points, that would just be huge for the Hawks today. It wouldn't quite it wouldn't quite lock it down, but you'd get to 98, 99% sure you're getting in, because Falmouth is that team in last place. So if you can get 2 points on them, give them 0. That's big for the Hawks and getting a playoff spot. And then after that, it would basically just come down to seeding.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a big thing also for the Hawks to find some momentum. Falmouth has been a struggling team in these past couple of weeks. What can you tell me about that, Mike?
Yeah, so the last time we were here at the beginning of July, we were talking about how the month has not been kind to Hyannis, and it has been to the Commodores. That has turned on its side here. The end of July has been not great, but better for Hyannis, and it has not been good for the Commodores lately. They're 2-8 in their last 10. They've lost their last 6. Last night against YD, they were down by 1 entering the 8th, and then they gave up 6 more, and wound up losing 10-3, and what ended up being a blowout after it wasn't looking that way in the 8th inning there, but I digress. The Commodores, they're starting an A-10 guy, Tim. Jeremy Urania, the right-handed pitcher from University of Rhode Island. He's made 2 starts. This is going to be his 3rd of the summer for the Commodores. He's thrown just 5 innings, though. So he's really not super built up. His first start of the season was against Orleans on July 17th. He pitched 3 innings, shutout. In his last start last week against Bourne, almost a week ago exactly, he pitched only 2 innings, gave up 5 runs. Only one of those was earned. Only 1 earned run. But he gave up 5 hits and 1 walk, only managed 2 strikeouts. This is a guy that Hyannis can hit. Mm-hmm. Their offense has been showing signs of life lately. Last night aside, they were just playing some really good pitching last night, and that's kind of what Mitch Carricker said after the game. But with a Hyannis offense that's showing signs of life against a pitcher who hasn't been here very long for Falmouth, I think we got something going here for the Hawks.
As you said, tough pitching last night. Even still, putting up 3 runs and tying the game is not a shameful performance by any means. I mean, you got definitely some good power hits early in that game. The home run, the double in the first inning there by Owen Prince, I believe.
Yes. Your player of the game pick.
It was, and it was absolutely correct. I think we can say I've been nailing those for the most part. Not for the most part, but as much as I could.
A lot lately,
but we are fair weather fans of ourselves, aren't we?
Yeah,
absolutely. But another thing that's kind of struggling about this team, their offense has not been able to perform. What do you got on that, Mike?
Yeah, so you said it. The offense has been struggling lately. Micah knew the last few times. I've talked about him. His OPS was in the 11s. It was in the 10s. His OPS is down to 890 now.
Wow.
Which, don't get me wrong, that's still good. If you have an 890 OPS, you're still doing something very well.
Yeah.
He leads the Cape League in home runs with 7. He's got 21 RBIs, 10 walks, 24 runs scored, and he's got 14 stolen bases. So he's got some power, and he can steal bases too. That's all Jared Saltalamacchia could want from an outfielder like Micah New.
Yeah.
He's been doing really well all summer. Another guy you want to watch, a bit newer to the team, joined I think around mid-season. That's Ryan Zuckerman, the infielder from Pitt. He's got a 271 average, 458 slugging percentage, 2 home runs, 7 RBIs, 7 walks. And Carl Schmidt, another guy who's been around all season. Him and Kent Schmidt on this Falmouth team, they're not brothers. They just happen to have the same last name. Carl's got 1 homer, 8 doubles, 12 walks, 24 runs scored in 33 games played.
Wow.
The Falmouth offense, because of this skid they've been on, they've dropped down to last in the Cape League in runs scored and RBIs, and they're sitting in the bottom 5 in hits, walks, batting average, OPS, strikeouts, just to name a couple.
Wow.
And, the pitching staff isn't much better. Bottom 5 in the Cape League in ERA, WHIP, hits allowed. home runs allowed, hit batters, walks. I could keep going, but it's just it has not been good lately for Falmouth. They've suffered statistically and on the field as well, just on the eye test as well. It just
and now even their speakers are failing behind us.
The speakers also are not having a great time right now during Hyannis batting practice. That seems to be just coming to an end now. But, it's Hyannis 4-0 against these guys this season. They've outscored them 25-13.
Wow.
The ingredients are there to make it a perfect 5-0.
Yeah, that's all good and well, Mike. Some great statistical analysis there. And we've had a lot of that this season.
Yes.
But something about the playoffs brings a different spirit.
Yeah.
Brings a vibe spirit. And what better way to bring the vibes than the vibes guy, Will Clarke Media, coming in to analyze the Harbor Hawks for today. Will, how you feeling?
I'm feeling great, guys. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
So, this has been a lot of learning about baseball this summer, and I've learned a lot, but I'm still getting there. But what I will say that I do know is I do know vibes, and I can give you a little bit of analysis on what I've seen, because I have the privilege to be on the field, be in the dugout, see how the players are interacting, and just to get into it, the bats have been hotter in the last couple games for the Hawks. That's really raised the energy in the dugout. We got guys like Max Stammel, Chris Diaz, who will come in, throw some gas, and then they'll come back in the dugout and they'll cheer us on. Tonight, with this game especially, we've had Falmouth's number this season. We hope that continues tonight. But these games get chippy. It's a Western Conference matchup, and these games have been close. They've been fun, and the players love to get after it with each other. So we hope we see more of that tonight. Definitely hope for a competitive game, and but the vibes are rising. So
Carson Yassa out there on the bump today. What can you say about how the bench really supports him throughout the game?
Sure. Yassa's been here since day one. Everyone's loved him. And that's another big thing. The team is, at this point, they've all been here for at least 2 weeks. So they're really starting to mold together. And I think Yassa is one of those core guys he's cheering everyone on. Everyone's cheering him on. So I think that will be huge in his performance today.
Absolutely. Hey, big vibes. Big vibes coming.
Big vibes. Big slink on the mound as well, Carson Yassa.
Yeah, it's amazing. So last big vibes picks of the day. Let's get our player of the game and score prediction going. Mike, I'll start with you.
All right. My last couple picks haven't gone my way. It's not for lack of trying. They just haven't gone my way. So I'm going to switch things up a little bit. A guy I wrote about not too long ago who's having a nice little run, that's Gabe Camacho, the first baseman. He's had a couple days, in between. Jay Stobie got the start at first base last night. Did all right for himself. But, it's Gabe Camacho time tonight against Falmouth. I like him as my player of the game. He might be going deep. I think it's possible.
I think that's a vibe pick, Mike.
I'm going to go ahead and say Gabe Camacho's home run tonight.
All right.
He might be a solo home run, might be a couple-run home run, but either way, he's driving in a couple runs tonight.
A couple of home runs would be a big burst.
I'm not that bold.
All right,
but he will homer tonight, driving a couple runs, so I like him as my player of the game pick.
Okay.
Final score, just the way things have been going lately for the Hawks, I think they're due for a good one on offense today. I think you've got your game one playoff starter if you make it there on the mound tonight, Carson Yassa. The ingredients are all there for a nice Hyannis win tonight. I like 8-4 in favor of the Hawks.
All right. Yeah, there's some high scoring numbers. I can feel it. I can feel it based on what the past couple of games have been like here at Gulf Fuller Field. And I'll kind of go along that theme too. I'm going to say it's 7-3. Hyannis Harbor Hawks win. I need a big performance out of Carson Yassa today, and I think we can get just that against a team that has been struggling so much. I think he can go 5 or 6. I'm looking for 6. Would be very nice with how expanded the bullpen was used last night in that 3-3 tie. And as far as my player of the game, I went Owen Prince yesterday, and that worked out.
Yes.
But now in the 2 spot, Jake Schaffner. Let's go with the guy who's knocking Prince in all day. And I think he'll get a couple of RBIs off Owen Prince. How about that? I'll say he knocks in Owen Prince twice today.
All right. Just before we kick it to Will for his predictions, I forgot to mention this when I was talking about the Falmouth pitching staff. They had a bit of a bullpen game yesterday. They used 5 guys. Nobody went more than 3 innings. This is a bullpen that, I don't know. You don't know who's available tonight. Their starting pitcher today hasn't thrown more than 3 innings in a game. Wow. I think if Hyannis gets him, you got to get him out of the game early. You get into that bullpen that's been used a little bit lately, and you got to capitalize on a weak bullpen, a bullpen by Falmouth that could use a break. You got to capitalize on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that being said, what do you got?
Sure. Well, I love those picks there. But I think player of the game tonight for me, a guy who brought in, I believe, the 2-game leading RBIs, was Jeff Lugie in the top of the ninth last time we were here. And I like that again. He's been bringing in the runs all season. I think he's going to continue that tonight. Score prediction-wise, I love Yas on the mound. I think it's going to be a bit. He's going to do his thing. He's going to go out there, hopefully pitch 5 or 6. And I think we're going to hopefully clean up a few errors that have kind of killed us. But I think tonight's night that we clean those up. I like a 6-2 Hyannis victory.
All right.
That's big. I like that. Well, Falmouth, it's a long ways away from Hyannis, at least via the road. It's not a fun drive, but we hope to see a few of you fans out here and cheering on the Harbor Hawks. I mean, maybe even this crowd will switch by the end of the night once they know the Hawks might be going to the playoffs. Mike, what are they going to be saying if they switch up?
They're going to be saying,
Go Hawks!